Do you have any little getaways planned? I just got back from one actually, and today I want to share with you a few slang terms that we use all the time for travel. It doesn't matter if you're going by plane, train, automobile, doesn't matter. Join me today as we talk about a few new slang terms for travel. Hi, I'm Phil. I work here at Mayak in the Czech Republic, and I'm standing here today to share with you a few slang terms that I would share with my own students. Thanks for joining me. Okay, in American English, we say the word vacation. We don't say holiday for this special time away where we go on a little trip, maybe in the summer, or when you have time off. We call it vacation. But sometimes we call it something shorter than vacation, vacay. What are you gonna do for vacay this year? Where do you go for your vacay? It's just a short way to say vacation, and you'll hear that a lot. Getaway. What's a getaway? Well, a getaway is just a vacation, a short vacation with the purpose of relaxing. So you could say, I'm going on a vacation, but you could say, I'm going on a little weekend getaway. Next one, you might know from just life and even from other languages, sabbatical. So a sabbatical is a time of paid leave for people, often like university professors, people in Christian ministries that lead churches. It's often a time that they can study, travel, maybe do a little bit of work as well, but work in the way of like getting back your motivation or your inspiration for doing this job, this work, whether it's teaching or leading a group of people. So sabbatical is really important. Historically, they've said that this should be every 7 years, but there are different times. It wouldn't happen every year, but every so often, some people will take a sabbatical. I want to take just a deeper moment here with the concept of sabbatical. Now, some of you might be recognizing this word comes from Sabbath, and the Jewish people have kept Sabbath for years and years and years and years. And it comes from the concept in the Bible where God created all of creation, and then he created also a Sabbath for his people, a day of rest, true rest. I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, I love this concept. But also, as a human, I must admit that I am not really great at this concept all the time. But I love the idea that God loves us enough to know ahead of time that we need a day of rest. Often people historically have celebrated Sabbath on a Saturday or a Sunday, but throughout history, especially in the Western world, we have often filled this day of rest with lots of activity, with even some work, of course, some shopping, some travel, some other fun activities. And yes, they're fun, but do you ever feel at the end of a weekend when you think you've had time to rest that you're just exhausted going into the next week? By the time we finish our Sabbath, we know that we've had fun. Maybe we're even productive, but we still feel so exhausted going into the next week. And we still haven't rested. It really does seem counterproductive to take a whole day and really relax. Really enjoy creation. Completely just enjoy it. But that's the way that God made it. That's the way that he knows that we function best. And if we're honest with ourselves, I think most of us would say, yeah, that's true. I would function much better if I just rested. All right, the next one is B&B, B&B. And some of you would know this because of the company Airbnb. It's the company that allows you to sort of rent out your place, your house, as a vacation spot for somebody else. And so it's sort of home sharing or apartment sharing for vacations. So it comes from this B&B, bed and breakfast. That's what it really means, bed and breakfast. And it would be like a smaller place, maybe a cute, smaller, old house. That's usually what I think of. And you can stay there for a night, and they'll also offer you a nice breakfast. And there's usually a lot of character in the place that you stay. It had been someone's home usually. It's not just some big hotel building. So it's nice to stay at a B&B sometimes and relax, have somebody serve you breakfast like individually in the morning and have a nice place to stay. Okay, since we had B&B, let's do R&R. Do you need some R&R? Most of us do need some R&R. This is rest and relaxation. I need some rest and relaxation, some R&R. And we use this phrase all the time, especially at the end of a long work day or a long work season, and you see your colleague that looks really tired and you'll say, man, you just need some R&R. Like rest and relaxation, go away, take a vacation, and enjoy yourself. R&R. All right, it's vacation time. Dad says to the kids, let's go, let's hit the road, hit the road. It doesn't mean you take a road and you hit it. No, of course not. It means let's start our journey. We're all packed, the car is ready, or we're ready to get on the train. Let's hit the road. Let's begin our journey together. Then we have peak season and off season. Peak season and off season. Peak season is the really busy season for some vacation spot that you're going to. It could be a hotel, could be a whole city that offers tourist events. That's their peak season when everybody comes. For many places, it's the middle of the summer. That's the peak season. Probably going to be more expensive too. But then they have the off season. It's the season where there aren't a lot of tourists. There are just locals there. So things are a little bit cheaper. There's more possibility to stay places and to get tickets for events on the off season. Globe-trotting, globe-trotting. We've got a compound word here. Globe, of course, is the earth, the globe, and trot is another word for run. It's a little run. So if you're globe-trotting, it means you're just traveling around the world. Of course, you're not stopping at every place around the world, but if you're globe-trotting, you love to just be going somewhere new, somewhere in the world, not just local, but in the world. So, are you globe-trotting this year? Where are some places that you'll be globe-trotting to this year? The next one, soak up the sun, or soak up some sun. You might know it from a Sheryl Crow song. This one means you'll just be on a vacation at the beach. And the idea here is that you'll really just be mostly at the beach. You'll be sitting, laying in the sun. Of course, you'll go in the water a little bit, but the idea is you will be sunbathing. You just want to soak up some sun. And I have a few friends that this is really all they want to do on their vacation. They just want to soak up the sun on their vacation. Booked solid, booked solid. We use this word usually for hotels, but it could be for anything you need tickets for or a reservation for. And if something is booked solid, it means there is no availability. And usually booked solid is followed by some date, some deadline. So for example, the hotel was booked solid through September. That means from now until September, even to the end of September, they are booked solid. There is not one day with one room that is available. It's booked solid. After that, you could find a reservation a little bit easier. But until then, it's booked solid. Sorry, no rooms available. Okay, the next word is amenities. I love this word, just the pronunciation of this English word. Say it with me 3 times, okay? Amenities, amenities, amenities. Isn't it fun to say? Anyway, amenities is some helpful or useful feature that is a part of a place, and it's usually with a hotel. When you look at the hotel's website, you'll see a list of their amenities. That's something they almost always list. And you'll see things that maybe seem obvious to you that you would expect, but there's some other things that are more desirable, more useful, better for you. Some of these things are a swimming pool, a sauna, a business center, laundry that's available, Wi-Fi, a hairdryer, and these are just a few possibilities. But these amenities are things you want to look for to see, let's see, which hotel would be better for me? What one has more amenities that I like, that I need? Take a dip. Take a dip. This means just to go swimming. I want to go to the pool at the hotel and just take a dip. I might not stay too long, but I'll at least get in the water, feel refreshed, and get out. Take a dip. Red eye, or a red-eye flight. And red-eye flight is a flight that you would take at night. Like it'll start very late in the evening or even in the night, and you get to your destination in the middle of the night or the next morning. It's a red-eye flight. And of course it comes from the idea that if you're up really late, your eyes will get dry and tired, probably a little bit red. So you have a red-eye flight. Okay, a hub. A hub is an airport that is a really main or major airport. It's a center for lots of different flights coming in and out. It's an airport that connects passengers to a lot of different flights that go out around the country or around the world. So if you fly into an airport that just has a lot of different flights to different places and a lot of people at any given moment, it's probably a hub airport. A layover. This is the time when you're flying and you aren't at your final destination, but you're at an airport in the middle and you have to stop here for a few hours or longer than that. I don't know about you, I love a good short layover, but now that I have a child, it is different. I like my layover to be a little bit longer. I like to make sure we have all the time we need to get through that airport and find our connecting flight, get to that gate and be ready to go. So now I like a longer layover. Road trip, this is obvious. It's just a trip, probably with your friends, to go to some place by car, some vacation destination. And we hear this word all the time. Hey, let's go on a road trip. It's just a way to talk about a trip with your friends or maybe family. Shotgun. No, it is not violent. It is not about guns at all. Riding shotgun means you get to sit in the front passenger seat in a car. There's somebody else that's the driver, and the shotgun seat is right next to them in the front seat. So this is something that kids always want. When I was growing up, if somebody was driving the car and there's a bunch of kids that are gonna get in and be taken to a place, all the kids will run to the car and say, I call shotgun, I call shotgun. And this means I call it, I say that I want to be the one to sit in the front seat. Because as any kid knows, sitting in the front seat is special, right? So that kid wants to be the one to get the extra leg room in the front seat. So I call shotgun. Finally, off the beaten path. Off the beaten path is a term that we use usually in a new city when we're visiting, and you're not going to just follow the road that all the tourists are on. You're not going to do the usual things, the usual activities, the usual trail. You're going to go off the beaten path. Off on a smaller path or a smaller street in the city and find something new. Maybe see how the locals live, find some new, interesting local things that the tourists wouldn't find. And I know when I go on a trip, it's nice to do the tourist things. You need to do those. But then soon I like to go off the beaten path to find something new, something different. Thanks for watching. I'm curious to know what your next vacation will be. Whatever time of year it is that you're watching this, where will you go and what will you do? Will you be off the beaten path, going on some vacay somewhere? Let me know. What are you doing? Have a great day.